When it comes to drawing well, there's more to pencil grip than you might think. There are several different ways of holding your pencil and they will each give you a different effect. It's normal to switch between the different grips, so give them all a try as you warm up to see how each of them feel and the different effects that they create. I'm going to show you 3 of the most common grips. The first is the one that you'll be pretty familiar with, as you'll likely use it for writing, which is the basic tripod grip or standard grip. This grip will give you a lot of control but not much freedom of movement, as your hand is in contact with the drawing surface, and as we sketch we want the movement to come from the shoulder and arm with the wrist locked. So this grip is great for detail but not so good for sketching. It also encourages us to use the point of the pencil, which will make darker, more defined marks, and when we begin sketching we want to keep our marks as light as possible. The overhand grip is a much better way to grip your pencil for sketching. This is because it allows us to use our whole arm and shoulder to create the movement, giving us the ability to create more fluid movements, and using the side of the pencil can allow us to make softer marks which are perfect for sketching and later on adding shading. This way of holding your pencil also works great if you're working on an upright surface like an easel, and you can also move your index finger to rest on the tip of the pencil to put more or less pressure on the tip, which can give you more control and allow you to play with line weight too. This is considered the best way of holding a pencil for drawing, but it can feel really strange at first and take quite a bit of getting used to. This is why warming up can be so helpful, so try it out and make as many marks and shapes with it as you can. If you find this way of holding your pencil feels too strange, a compromise would be the extended tripod grip. This is the same way that you'll be used to holding your pencil in the basic tripod grip for writing, but the grip is further up the pencil, and try to hold your pencil quite loosely. This will give you more freedom of movement as your hand is either resting very lightly on the drawing surface or not touching it at all. Top tip: on the whole, it is best to try not to have your hand resting on the paper as you draw, because your hand will smudge your drawing. If you do need to rest your hand down when working on details, for example, just use a bit of scrap paper under your drawing hand. That's a really good way of saving your drawing from smudges, and that's something that I would highly encourage you to do right from the beginning when you start to draw, because a nice clean background really makes such a big difference in how great your drawings will look. So we'll now do some warming up with whatever materials you have to draw with, or this could in fact help you decide what you'd like to draw with if you have a choice of different types of pencil. So I'm just using an HB pencil. That's one that I use a lot for sketching. And if you're wondering what the H and the B stands for, they relate to hardness and blackness, and that relates to how dark the pencil looks. On the whole, HB is quite a common sketching pencil. As you get into the Bs, those ones will be a little on the dark side. So now it's your turn. Try creating a page full of different marks with each hand grip. Try straight lines, curved lines, and geometric or organic shapes. And see if you can get very light lines and very dark lines with your pencil by pressing hard and lightly. Play around with those grips and adjust them in ways which feel right for you. You could add some notes to your warm-up sheet if you find that helpful for reference. So for example, as I've been using the standard or tripod grip, I've noticed it's making my drawn lines kind of tighter and darker, and the shapes that I'm making are smaller because my movement is a little more restricted. So I could add those notes onto my sheet to remind me of that later. One of the key things I'd like you to take away from this class is that warming up should become as much a part of your drawing process as the sketch itself. As beginners, we'll be keen to dive straight in, but starting a sketch cold without getting to know our drawing tool and feeling how the different hand grips might feel, or practicing a few different lines and shapes, will almost certainly produce a less successful drawing than if you spend a couple of minutes warming up, believe me.